Hi and welcome to the Financial Fox. I hope that you had a long and nice Easter break even in those lockdown situations. And today on the show we are going to be speaking with the new CEO of London-listed Ascent Resources. Ascent is a junior oil and gas company that's been going through a complete reshuffle of the management team, as well as a complete review of their operation and strategy. They historically have gas assets in Slovenia, and now they are introducing something completely different, I would say really fresh, obviously challenging, but quite new for the London market, which is a new international strategy in the Carribean and Hispanic America, particularly with Cuba, where today they first announced they entry move into the Cuba region, which everybody knows that is very rich for hydrocarbons as well as very challenging, but let's see how they're going to handle the situation. I will be speaking with Andrew Dennan, which has been appointed as the new CEO of Ascent Resources. Hi Andy, how are you?
Hi, very well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. So first of all, congratulations on your new appointment as a CEO of Ascent Resources. Definitely an exciting but also challenging job for you.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you very kindly for your congratulations. It's an exciting role for me, taking the helm and steering ship, which is executing on a new strategy and executing on a new strategy it set recently. So soon after that initial strategy announcement is a good place to start. So looking forward to it. A new team with lots of energy and entrepreneurial spirit. And there's an opportunity set here for us to build an oil and gas company counter-cyclically, acquiring and dealing with governments to get licenses, as well as growing through acquisitions as announced by the company today.
Well, I can see that the new team is certainly moving quickly, as today announcement on the first mover entry in Cuba, which is one of the few undeveloped hydrocarbon provinces in the world. The deal does come with an acquisition of a UK company called Energetica Limited, which has exclusive right to secure a production sharing contract on a producing onshore Cuban oil license. Now, what I would like you to explain is the position of Energetica Limited in Cuba, but also the total value of the acquisition, which might not be so clear from the RNS.
So thanks for noting our news today and our entry into Cuba, which we see is a great opportunity for us to go and expand. The first acquisition we've announced today is Energetical, which, as you rightly say, has exclusive rights to production contract 9B. Background of Cuba is we see a hugely underexplored opportunity set here with great oil potential. We see a low-cost environment with low-cost barrels being a very key focus of this company moving forward. There's lots of government support there. There's an active oil and gas industry. They've got favourable tax rates and tax holdings. Holidays are available as well. So there's a good ecosystem for us there to be able to engage with a government that wants to see investment capital deployed. It's oil and gas resources explored and developed. And with that today, we started with the acquisition of Energetical. And to come back to your question regards consideration, as announced today, the company's issued 6 million new ordinary shares to the selling shareholders, and there's a further 450,000 of deferred consideration, of which 100,000 will be paid in cash. 350,000 of that deferred consideration will be issued at new shares valued at the 30-day volume weighted average price at the time of issue. So in terms of the total value of that, if you see where the shares closed tonight, I think we're 3.375 times the 6 million that we've given them is approximately another 220,000. So total consideration in the order of magnitude, therefore, would be somewhere in the region of 620,000 all in, if you consider the value of the shares at today's close.
And also in the RNS, you are mentioning they have a memorandum of understanding with Cuba regarding producing oil license in Cuba. So what I would like you to maybe make a little bit more clear is the value they are bringing through the table and the reason behind this acquisition.
Yes, well, Cuba has an onshore and an offshore licensing round. They have very few existing production concessions, which aren't taken by the national state oil company, Cuba. There is one producing license, or the license that has current production, which is 9B. So our acquisition of this company allows us to get entry into the country and into a license with a proven hydrocarbon system. So we're trying to get as lower in-ground risk as possible for our first entry point, and we think this presents that opportunity. We've got wells that have been drilled there that are still producing. There's the opportunity to reinvigorate production by bringing over possibly just new compressors, and also as well as new drilling activity, which is a consideration as well. So it's about getting in-country access to low cost opportunity set where you can get some revenue recognition in the short to medium term, and also, as I say, also try and reduce the risk in the ground as possible, and by picking up a production license.
That's great, and I can see definitely the value in entering unexploited countries such as Cuba. Now, it's also pretty controversial as well. Can you maybe explain us what you see being the main challenges in Cuba?
Well, Cuba has the benefit of good infrastructure, educated workforce, and wants to do business. It is hampered by US sanctions, and obviously Mr. Trump is due for re-election possibly later in this year. Events surrounding that could possibly be a catalyst for forward investment into Cuba. So that could be a very near-term catalyst on a macro level that could see a Cuban portfolio enjoy a value re-weighting. So those things actually can present obstacles, but also can present opportunity. The obstacles that do come, however, associated with US sanctions is that the company won't be trading in any US dollars or currency or so forth. But that's not going to be a logistical issue for us to pursue a monetization strategy in Cuba, which has a very buoyant tourist industry, certainly with Canada. And so in terms of repatriation of funds, which has now been enacted in the 2014 law, the company could, for example, quite easily transact in Canadian dollars with counterparties, as is done with other internationals who are operating in Cuba. So there are challenges. But that just creates a requirement to have innovative solutions, and those that are successful in finding and implementing those solutions have a reward to play for, and that's really the opportunity that we see in Cuba.
Well, definitely a bold move for an independent oil and gas company. On the other side, and also quite disappointing, I would say, update on the funding in Slovenia. What has happened over the Easter weekend, and what the new team is working on to resolve the situation there?
Yeah, well, I've been briefed on events that transpired over the weekend. I think in terms of litigation funding, it's certainly a strategy that the company has historically pursued. What I can say is, coming in with effectively as a new board here, we will be reevaluating all strategies. In terms of our current predicament of fighting this COVID-19 virus, that's also presented opportunity insofar as we can't actually go to Slovenia. We can't engage with ministers. We can't actually pursue that on the immediate term. So that gives us a little bit of time to take a step back and have a look at all the different ways to take forward that Slovenian asset. That could include pursuing that strategy, could include meeting with the new minister and renegotiations and speaking about contractual terms and things like that, because there's been a watershed moment in the global industry now. That's a use it or lose it situation as well. So we're kind of taking a portfolio approach here. So we're taking a departure from this company being a single asset story of old. So Slovenia will be diluted down, and there's other things that we're looking at. So acquisitions and further licenses are things that hopefully Ascent shareholders can expect to see now. Yeah, it's something that we will be looking at, and we will be updating the market on. There are various conversations with various different providers, all at various different stages of completion. It'd be remiss of me to make any further comment beyond the fact that all options are on the table, and the receipt of the LOI is in itself confidence inspiring in terms of the potential validity and strength of the company's claim if that route was determined. But there is a new minister. Slovenia and again, the world has to change. So the world will change, and there's an opportunity to sit down and meet these new people.
So Andy, to wrap it up, many investors are asking about your background, skill and experience to progress an international strategy in the Caribbean and Hispanic America. Now, you have a great experience in the financial and capital market, as everybody knows, as well as also some experience in the oil and gas, mainly as a CFO and an executive director. Now, you are the man with the biggest responsibility. So I would like to give you the opportunity to send a message to Ascent shareholder just at the beginning of this exciting new journey.
Yeah, I think you've got the opportunity of investing in a company that's got a new, energized team. You've seen the announcement of a strategy followed up quite quickly with change in board directorate and acquisition in Cuba. You've got aligned interests. I personally am a shareholder as well, owning 1.9 million shares at higher prices than where they are today. And we want to do the right thing, going out there, doing deals, accreting value, and hopefully our shareholders, including I, will all derive the benefits of that. And the opportunities now, we can use this time to spend little dollars to accrete value with applications to host governments and PSC negotiations and things like that. We can work up bigger prospects for as and when the window for financing on much larger transactions opens, which it will, because this is a cyclical business. Yeah, watch out. There's things to come, and we're hopefully a highly energized team that can deliver you some impact and some news, and take the company forward with a portfolio approach, as opposed to having its story tied to a single asset and being at the whim of that host government or that host geography.
Andy, thank you very much for your comments and insight, and let's wish all the best with the progress that you are making with Ascent Resources, and I look forward to speak to you very soon. This is everything from the Financial Fox. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next time.